Hey everyone, it's Cece from One Greenpea. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of the plants in my yoga room. We'll start our tour over here with some floor plants. This is my ZZ plant, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the words that ZZ stands for. I'll put them in the show notes. But I bought this guy a year and a half ago or so, quite small, from Whole Foods Market, and he is absolutely grown beautifully. The leaves are shiny, lots of new growth, new stems, and seems to really like the morning light that it gets from those windows over there. Over here, Ficus Lystrata, my fiddle fig. This was a gift to me, and again, it was quite small, done really well. And from all the stories I hear about how fickle these are, I don't want to move in. Seems to really like the level of light that it's getting. And I also have a little diffuser that I run throughout the day, and these plants seem to really like it. So again, leaving it there. This is another kind of ficus tree, the Ficus Benjamina, which is just a weeping fig. And I've had this one for quite a while, maybe the longest I've had any of the plants in here, and I nearly killed it. Like, it was before I really paid attention to my plants that much, but it's come back beautifully. And again, lots of new growth. I'll give you a close-up on that, even in October, which, you know, is a delight. This guy is fairly new, Alocasia Polly. That was on my wish list. I just love the shape of the leaves. They're thick and waxy, super pretty, and move kind of cute. So again, these are some of my favorite plants. I love them all. They're all my favorites. In this corner, I have this hanging pot set up, and I struggled somewhat trying to figure out what would do the best in these pots. They don't have drainage, and I have a tip for you. If you have pots that you really want to use that don't have drainage, succulents make a great choice because you let the soil dry out completely in between watering, so there's a lot less likelihood of root rot. And these string plants, these are string of pearls, these are string of banana, Senecio varieties, do really well here. Now I have a whole video on how I propagate these, and I'll link to that, but basically it's this easy. I literally just clip them right off and clip it right off like that. And then I stick this root in, or excuse me, this stem right in the soil. Like, it is that easy. These guys want to root. So that's how I have basically propagated all of this. Really easy. Again, check out the video. Moving along to the windowsill. Now this is an east-facing window, so morning light. This is a spider plant that I propagated. This is Pilea Peperomioides that I always struggle to say. Those were babies. This is just a pot of various succulents. This is like one of my very favorite. Isn't that guy cool? Moving to the next windowsill, this is has become my begonia headquarters. I have several of these that I've found at my local grocery store that are so cool. Begonia Maculata. I'd like to think they're whitey eye variety, but I don't know. I just call them polka dotted variety. And they seem to really like this amount of sun. Lots of new growth. Those are new leaves poking out. Now this begonia, a friend of mine took from a cutting. She rooted it in water for me. It's really cool. I don't know the variety by heart, but I think we found out what it is, so I'll put that in the show notes. This is another begonia from that same wonderful friend. I love friends who give me their plants. And I thought I would pot this one up in Leca just to see what would happen. And I haven't seen roots shoot out yet, but we shall see. It's fun to experiment. Okay, moving over to this windowsill. Again, east-facing light. So another, well, we call this a begonia, but it's not actually a true begonia. It's called a strawberry begonia. Saxifraga, I think is the actual name. I bought this in this tiny little plant. It was like $2 and he's just absolutely exploded. I usually bottom water him because I'm always super cautious when you have fuzzy leaves. You don't want to get them wet at all. That invites fungus and problems. So I often bottom water him. This guy looks pretty similar to that, but he is actually a Peperomia variety, silver ripple. And that's a fairly new one for me, but kind of a fun, pretty one. This guy I want to talk about, this is a pitcher plant, Nepenthes. My daughter brought it home with her when she came for COVID, and it's just doing so well. She decided to leave it here. Now, all of these pitchers that are growing are filled with water and or a fluid, let's say, and they attract insects. It's really cool. Now, these look gross, but from what I've read, you let it die all the way off before you cut it off. And you can see he's still happy and still growing because he's still creating new pitchers. So, Nepenthes. This is a pink Syngonium. Again, I just liked the pink. Okay, so moving over here to this windowsill. Now we've got south-facing light. This is a jade plant, and fun fact, I found out that jade plants can live up to 100 years. How cool is that? Okay, I've got to point this out. This is a succulent that I literally grew from seed, which I would not recommend to anyone. It takes literally forever, but I'm kind of proud of that little guy. This beautiful plant is a bird of paradise that I got as a gift from Bloomscape for doing a collaboration with them, and it's gorgeous, and it has a new leaf emerging right back here. It has a little bit of browning on the edges and the tips, so I'm going to investigate that. It might be more water or more humidity, so that's under investigation. Aloe plant. I bought 3 of these from my grocery store when they were little because I thought they looked cute on my dinner table. This was 1.5, 2 years ago, and they're huge and lovely. So Dracaena, don't love him that much, but he's kind of cool. And this is a jade plant, another jade plant. I'm going to bring you in and show you something cool about this one. Here's that new leaf I was showing you. My aloe, Dracaena. Okay, so this jade plant is the only plant I put outside for the summer. I just wasn't sure how they would do outside. And he developed some gorgeous redness on his leaves. So what happens with a lot of plants, and particularly succulents, is when they're stressed, that's when they produce the coloration that we tend to love. So that's kind of fun. He's in this direct south light, and I'm hoping kind of keeps that color. And what's happened since he's come back inside is he's making all sorts of babies. So I think he's happy. Okay, my final corner of plants that I want to show you. Over here is a philodendron. This is the jungle boogie. So many of my plants I got just at my grocery store. He was quite small, but he looked really neat. Loved these cool leaves, and he's gotten ton of growth, and there's even a new leaf about to unfurl in October. This obviously a snake plant, Dracaena trifasciata. This one's the Laurenti. I did a whole video on snake plants, so I'll put a link to that so you can watch that. I won't tell you any more about it. This is another ficus back here. It's a rubber tree. They cool leaves that I really like and grows well and is happy and easy. This plant, I did again a whole video on my Pilea Peperomioides. You saw 2 babies from him earlier, and he's growing another couple of babies in here. Love this. Back here, I've got a sago palm and a yucca cane. They're very sculptural. I like them for that, and they're really easy to take care of, so those are cool. This is another one of the 3 original aloe plants that I bought. This one up here doesn't get as much light, interestingly, so isn't quite as robust, but he's doing absolutely fine. Okay, let's talk about my Hoyas, shall we? We'll start off by saying this is a jade. This is not a Hoya. So this is the Hoya linearis, the green bean plant. You can see why it's called that. He is just starting to put out new leaves, which is exciting. So the way these Hoyas grow is they grow the stem first and then the leaves come off of that. So it's a little dejecting when you think I'm just getting stem, but you have to have stem first. The leaves come after. This is a Hoya pubicalyx, and I took this as a cutting from a big plant at a salon that I go to, and rooted it in water first, then put it in soil, and it is putting out new growth. Hoyas tend to be rather slow growing, so I'm happy with what I'm getting. And the pubicalyx has really cool mottled leaves, which is fun. My Hoya Crimson Queen. I'm totally in love with this plant. I ordered this online. I'll put a link in the show notes. Now, the Crimson Queen, new growth is colored pink, and then the new leaves come out pink, and then they turn yellow, and then they turn more green, a darker green. And that's just the natural cycle of it. When I first got it, I was like, I want all of them to be pink, but actually they don't. They start out pink and then they turn yellow and then green. And here's something I just saw. He's growing up the leather strap of his little hanger, which I think is adorable, which again is a natural way that they grow. I hope you enjoyed this tour of one of my rooms of plants. I'll put all the names, both scientific and common names, in the show notes. But if you have any questions at all about specific plants or where I got them or care, any of that, please just leave a comment or send me a message. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, hello and welcome, and please hit that subscribe button so you can continue to get my planty info. Until next time, happy growing, my friends.